The Phantom Bus Route. Lena was a veteran bus driver who had just been put onto the night shift on a route she had never taken before. It was considered out of the way, not very well travelled. It was a particularly foggy night. She felt a chill run down her spine as she started into her journey. As Lena drives through the foggy streets, the GPS in the bus suddenly starts malfunctioning, showing strange routes that shift and appear to lead her into places she doesn't recognise. An old, dusty passenger in an old-fashioned hat and coat abruptly appears on the bus. The man doesn't say a word, his presence casting an eerie shadow across the bus. The bus starts to drive along narrower and narrower streets, and these become less recognisable. Lena notices how everything is rapidly changed outside of the window. Old buildings appear and immediately disappear, and the fog thickens. Finally, the man got off at some tumble-down abandoned bus stop. Further, when Lena checked her schedule, she found that the stop didn't exist on any official map. On her return to the depot, Lena discovers that this route was off the service years ago, and the stop where that man got off was demolished long ago. The story finishes when Lena sees in her GPS again the Phantom Bus Route, with a route heading into a location marked as Lost and Forgotten. The Last Bus. It was a cold Wednesday night, September 11th, 2024. While the city was alive, the bus stop at 5th Street was a little abandoned. Leon stood in solitude, waiting for bus 302 to take him home. The lights way ahead and the noise of the more crowded part of the city reminded him that, in fact, there were other people around. Yet, he just could not get rid of that eerie feeling of isolation haunting him. While he was doing that, a doddering old man in a bright red mandarin jacket and sporting a thin grey ponytail suddenly appeared at his side. Leon nodded politely toward him and put on his headphones. The two of them just stood there silently, waiting for bus 302 to show up. When it did, the old man took a seat near the front, several rows back from the front, while Leon took a seat in the back, all the way in the rear. They started driving, and Leon went into his music. He hardly felt it when the bus stopped again, this time to pick up two more men. They sat down directly behind the driver's seat. It was also in seemingly perfect condition, until the police discovered its petrol tank had been filled with blood. Leon was sick. He could only think back to that night, so unsuspecting, so very close to ending up like the bus driver. He silently thanked the old man this time with complete sincerity for saving him from the fate of the midnight bus. A couple of weeks later, Leon was sitting at his kitchen table eating breakfast and watching the morning news. He gasped as an image of the bus flashed onto the screen. 2 weeks ago, bus 302 had vanished shortly after midnight, he heard the newscaster report. All traces of it, its driver and any passengers that may have been aboard, were nowhere to be found. Until today, when investigators found the vehicle parked in a ditch 3 miles north of its normal route. Leon watched as a team of medics loaded a full body bag into an ambulance. A sea of police officers were taping off the area. The bus in question seemed normal in every way, though a bit ominous. The driver was found in his seat in an extended state of decomposition, though there appeared to be no sign of a struggle or apparent cause of death. Another horror story about a nighttime bus incident right in the middle of the city is as follows. Erica folded her purple pajamas and placed them in her suitcase. "There," she said. "I'm ready to go, Mom." Erica and her mum were going on vacation. Mum had planned for them to visit Aunt Jill. Aunt Jill lived in a quaint little town near the ocean. Erica and her mother loved to go to the ocean. The sky was overcast as Erica and her mother took the interstate. It was late afternoon by now. Erica gazed out of the window. Soon, skyscrapers of the city gave place to trees and fields. In the direction they were traveling, north, it started to rain. First, big, huge, fat drops splattered slowly against the windscreen. Then all of a sudden, the raindrops hit hard and furiously. Mum turned the windshield wipers on full. Just at that moment, there was a sharp crack of thunder. Then in the sky that had become very dark now, a bright flash of lightning illuminated it. "It's raining cats and dogs," Mum announced. "I can hardly see to drive." "Maybe we should pull over," Erica said. Erica was frightened. They were still several hours from Aunt Jill's house. Worse, they seemed to be stuck in the middle of nowhere. "Look," Mum said, leaning forward and squinting. "There's an inn up ahead. Perhaps we could stay there tonight." Here is another horror story of an accident that happened with a night bus in the middle of the city. When the Civil War finally came to an end, I travelled to New York City. My captain was from New York. He had told me all about it. "Stop by the Empire Hotel, Mole," he told me when I was discharged. "I know some people there. Perhaps I can get you a job." The Big Apple was exciting. I acted upon my captain's advice and called in at the Empire Hotel. There was an attractive red brick facade. Inside, a luxurious lobby. The Silent Farewell. Tom, a new bus driver, is assigned for the first time to take the late-night shift on the route going through the quiet suburban area. He isn't too keen on making this shift, but he needs this job. As the night progresses further, a series of unsettling events occur along the way. Tom is working his shift and observes a young girl in a vintage dress standing at a bus stop. She boards the bus and gets on, holding an antique doll. She sits quietly and does not say a word to Tom, even when he tries to make conversation with her. As night wears on, the bus seems to grow darker and colder. Matters worsen when Tom notices that the interior lights of the bus start to blink and the radio plays eerie children's songs. The girl is ominously silent, never budging from her seat. Tom resolves to make a stop at a police station to report the strange happenings. But upon turning to look at the seat where the girl had been sitting, he finds only the old doll and a note that says, "Goodbye, Daddy." From a local historian, Tom learns that many years ago, a young girl matching that description used to ride that route with her father. The girl and her father disappeared without a trace, and the case was never solved. The story ends when Tom finds a photo of the girl and her father in the police station, with her holding the very same doll when she was found, indicating she was out looking for her missing father that night.